Hello YouTube, it's Clormo with another video tutorial on Logic Pro X, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about Alchemy filter effects. Again, finishing up that effects section to finish off the Alchemy series. Like I said in the previous video, I want to thank each and every one of you, I should say, for subscribing. All of you that have subscribed, 110 subscribers at the time of this the recording, and that broke the expectation for this year to just reach double the amount of the subscribers that I had. But anyways, so if you find value in this, as usual, please make sure that you subscribe and do like all the other 110 people that have done so. It doesn't cost you anything, and you help me gain more visibility and get to more people that might be looking for very detailed, broken down type of series of videos on some of those advanced topics from Logic Pro X. And that way they can also find the same value that you found if you subscribe. And if you like the video, you can like it. You dislike it, you can dislike it. You can comment on this video if you want to leave some feedback or just ask questions, and you can contact me in every other way that's described in the graphic at the bottom of the video. And without further ado, let's just start with this. And this is what I was carrying before. These were the four different filters or effects that I covered last time. So I'm gonna really go and delete all of them, because today I'm just going to be talking about the filter effects, which are right here. So there's 4 of these, and anyway, let's start same as last time. Bandpass filter. Before I tell you about those parameters, the effects in this group, in the filter group, are they gonna do, or what they are tailored for, are to change the frequency content of the signal. So there's gonna be, like you can see here, just band passes and EQing in general, and high cut, low cut, everything tied to frequencies. So this is analogous to having an EQ in your channel strip. You can achieve kind of more detailed edits and more fine-tuning and refined type of edits in the frequency spectrum. So the bandpass filter is the first one, and this guy is an adjustable width bandpass filter. So it's just a bandpass filter. So it's the same thing that you can do with your EQ, but some people might have difficult to see in it here because they don't have a graphic and they just have some few knobs and so on and so forth. But anyway, the portion that you reject with this bandpass filter, that portion of the signal that you're rejecting, can be recovered later in the signal path when you use the band reject effect, which can only be accessed if you're using that bandpass filter. Notice that if I clear this one up, go to filter, band reject is not available on its own, because unless you're band passing your signal and rejecting some of that signal, you cannot bring it back. But once you do use a bandpass filter, then the band reject is available. So the bandpass filter has very simple controls, has a low and high cut and a low and high resonance. The first 2 knobs are gonna set the lower and upper boundaries of the band pass. Same as with the EQ, you set like a bell shape or something like that that's gonna create your that band pass, and then the 2 below are gonna add a resonant emphasis to those boundaries that you're setting with your low and high cut. So moving on, let's now add that band reject. And the band reject it's just going to be treated as a percentage with a mix knob. The band reject is available only, like I said, when the bandpass filter is inserted. And there's one popular use for this feature is for multi-band distortion. This mix knob, what it's gonna do is just set the amount of the band rejected signal that you want to mix back into the signal path. So whatever you cut here, if you want to kind of mix it back to the signal, you're just gonna go here and say, okay, so I'm gonna, whatever frequency I cut here in the bandpass filter, I can say, okay, I want to get back about 27% of that signal. I want to get that back because I either want to make the sound brighter or I want to make it darker, whatever that the case may be, right? Now, moving on, let's see. We are gonna have the I'm looking for the bass enhancer. Oh, here it is. So there's also the distortion is kind of a same category as a filter, but before I go into these three, I just want to find it because I was thinking I was crazy. The next one is the multi-mode filter. So the multi-mode filter provides multiple filter types that process all the voices routed through the effects section, and you know that you can route them here in the main filter or in the master section as well. So you have a pop-up menu first and foremost, which is a type pop-up menu, and that just lets you choose from a list of different filters. Some of them which we have seen before. You have a 10 poles filters. You pretty much have the same ones that we have seen already. Same types of filters that we have seen already. Here, like if I can go to the type on the main filter section, you have pretty much the same guys. Okay, so that's all it is. I explained what they were here in the filter video, so go back to this one. I'm not gonna explain that again. The most common knobs that are available on most filters, and I'm gonna keep the multi-mode filter as and the LP2 as the example. You have a cutoff knob, you're gonna have a resonance, and you're gonna have a drive knob, obviously coupled with a mix knob. The cutoff and resonance, that's been explained to death already. You know the videos. You're gonna set your cutoff frequency, and then you're gonna give a boost, right? That resonance, a boost to that cutoff point. The drive knob is just an overdrive filter, and of course its effect is going to vary with the type of filter you choose. So if you have drive available here in a 2-pole, it's going to have a different effect on a 4-pole and 10-pole, etc., etc. And then your mix knob is going to let you set the balance between the wet and dry signals. Remember, the wet is the signal that has the effect or the filter, and the dry would be the original. Now, let's see. Multimode and 3-band EQ. So the 3-band EQ offers 3 bands of parametric EQing, which are these 3 here. So each band is going to be shown as F1, 2, or 3, and F stands for frequency. And they have identical controls. So you have like it's simple. Like if you took a normal multi-band EQ and just divided in 3 sections, that's what it is. So you have 3. Your frequency spectrum is divided in 3. So you can either add some gain. You can set a center frequency for that little band, And notice how I can make this obviously less or more and cover the whole frequency spectrum. And then the Q, which is the slope, or actually the bandwidth, and that's going to determine how wide is going to be also that frequency range based on your center frequency. Nothing too complicated to understand. Again, thinking about parametric EQ, of course. So now I'm gonna remove all of these so we don't get too much clutter. I didn't have to do that in the first place, but I'm gonna do it. So with distortion, we have a bass enhancer, and is very familiar. It's gonna be familiar in the sense that there's this fat button. You have an amount knob as well, but then you have a different one. You have a tune button. So this filter, what it's gonna let you do, or this effect, is gonna be a bass boosting EQ. So it's gonna be advisable to use this one on bass or low frequency sounds like percussion. You can obviously use it in whatever you want, but amount is going to set the intensity. Tuning, or the tune knob, is going to set that frequency band that you are going to be boosting, and then the fat button is going to do the same as the fat button that we saw before. It will add a saturation effect, but to a bass boosting EQ type of effect. So you can add some color to lower frequency sounds. That's really the end of it. I'm gonna do some distortion. The distortion effect has 6 knobs, like you can see there. So there's pretty much all types of distortion that you can think about are encompassed in this little module. So you have a bit crusher, which is which you can use for a lo-fi digital distortion. Mag knob, which is a more intense distortion. A tube knob, which is gonna simulate a warm distortion effect of an overdriven tube amplifier. Again, trying to mimic hardware type of effects from back in the day, but self-contained in Alchemy software. Then you have the Excite, which is going to create distortions with an enhanced high frequency range. Your pre-gain knob is going to set the amount of input gain before the distortion, so you can make your sound very loud and get it distorted at that level. And then the post gain is going to compensate for significant signal boosts caused by heavier distortions like the Mac distortion. So the Mac and the tubing are more extreme distortions, so that's where the post gain knob comes into play. And then there's this Waveshaper, which is very interesting because there is a now it's a different type of thing, right? We have not only we have some knobs, we have a graphic. So this effect is sort of an EQ again that applies a predefined filter shape. There are 2 sets of controls available to modify pre-shaped and post-shaped state of the signal. Pre-shaped, post-shape. You have a mix knob at the very beginning that's going to set the balance between the dry or input signal, the original signal, and the wet or effect signal, the signal that it's being subjected to a particular effect. You have a gain knob, which is just gonna affect the pre-gain of that signal, nothing different. You have a shape knobs, which are this and this here, these two guys. So those shape knobs are gonna set pre and post filter shape of the low pass or the high pass. The center position is gonna equal balance of low and high. There's a frequency knob on both ends, pre and post. So that's gonna set your center frequency. Then you have this display. The display lets you view and edit the predefined filter curve. And in this mode, you can drag and shape the filter real time. Basically, you can drag points around and you can drag the actual curve. You can't, it's not like you can shape it into whatever you want. It ends up being a curve. But you can do that manually, or you can try to post-process it with the different and pre-process it with the different knobs, but you're not gonna see the effect in the display. You're not gonna change the shape, but you're gonna alter the resulting signal. Then all the way down here you have a bipolar button, which is when it's turned on, you are gonna be using a bipolar filter curve. If it's off, then you're gonna use an unipolar filter curve. And like you saw, what that did, just brought this right, so the crosshairs, and obviously depending on the type of pre and post and all this mixing that you do, it's the effect that you're gonna get. Then you have this file button, which is the same as every other one. You have some presets and you can do your save, copy, and paste pre-command. So I'm gonna do something different on this one. I'm gonna bring some presets and let's just listen to what you have there. Remember that presets are very important, not only for speeding up your workflow. You might get the result you want with an existing preset, but you can also use it to see the different parameters, how they were tweaked, what effect it has on the signal, and you can from there tweak a few ones and then save your own preset. And when you save it, remember it's going to be placed in the Alchemy presets, so it's going to be here in this list depending on what name you put to it. So let's start with some overdrive. Let's change that to a 2, which should be more intense, but it makes the sound actually clearer in this case. Still an octaver. It's also kind of an intense effect. Yeah, that wasn't that great. Now, let's see, do some bass enhancing. I don't have a lot of low there overall. Do some distortion. Right there, I just moved the Mac just to show you that, yeah, it is extreme. Same with the tubing. The beat crusher may sound a little bit distorted, but that's what it is, right? But not as bad. Sorry about that. Let me go to the bandpass. This is where you can do, as usual, your band sweeps. And you can probably automate this, do some sort of intro. or combine. Of course, nothing's gonna happen because I don't have a bandpass filter. Notice how I gave it more low just by making my cutoff frequency in a lower range, and I simply added more low just by doing that. I can make it brighter if I want to. Then the mid range I'll make a little bit lower to the rest. Make it narrow at the pass. Same here, because what I want it's more of the low in that case, in that example. And there you have it. It's just a way of changing your frequency content of the signal, in essence EQing your signal. That's what it is, with those type of effects that I covered there for distortion and the basic filter effects. So before I finish the tutorial, 2 terms and definitions type of tutorials are left now to go. So they're going to be the modulation and reverb effects. That's it. So next week those 2 are dropping and we're done with Alchemy. And then after those, like I said, I'll do some practical example tutorials. Well, those are going to be just one video at a time. So that way I can get up to speed with the Spanish version and of the Alchemy series, and then get up to speed with those videos and keep releasing just one topic in English and Spanish weekly, just one video weekly. Some people may think that this is very easy to do, but I was putting 6 videos on a weekend, which I would record between Monday and Tuesday, and you will look at them and probably think, oh my god, he had all day to do that, he probably didn't do anything else the whole day. Or nope, I actually had to work, and I like to work early to be out early. So 4:15 was the wake up time. It's still the wake up time. I would be out of work by 3:30, and then I would come here and take my dog out and play with them, and play with her, I should say. Then I'll wait for my wife to come from work, and have some dinner with her and talk about the day and all that, and then I will get to record. So you can imagine how time consuming and exhausting that is. So I just did it just to prove a point to myself, also just to, if I in one day in the future I am able to just do this for a living, which I know it's very difficult to do, and you have to put a lot of work into. If I ever got to that point, then I prove myself that I can do it. That's all I wanted. I proved myself. I don't need to prove anybody else. I needed to prove myself, and I did. So, but before I get to any other sort of progression with this Clormo industry stuff, I need to take it back, scale it down back again, so I can, in the tutorials at least, so I can dedicate more time to the music that I do itself, which I have not been publicly releasing or doing anything because I don't want to. I just want to make sure that I concentrate on this underwriting for now, and then introduce that little by little and not look back into what I have done and just keep it fresh and keep it current and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna see you in the next videos, and with that we're gonna close the Alchemy series finally. Thanks again to all of you for subscribing, sharing, commenting, asking questions, and all that stuff. See you next week. Peace out, YouTube.